welcome to This Week in Wrestling. I am Jennifer from Cultaholic, and joining me today is Sam and Adam. Hello, gents. How are we today?
Hello, how are you?
I'm really well. I'm a wee bit chilly.
Yeah, it's cold today, isn't it? It's late at night when we normally do these during the day.
Yeah.
We'll have a bit of time to warm up, but no, it's freezing
No,
tonight.
I'm cold.
Not even the lights are helping. It's usually roasting in here.
Yeah, it is,
I
yeah.
know, but oh well. Moving on, hopefully to get a wee bit of heat amongst us, we will go to November the 13th, because nothing happened on the 12th, sadly. But November the 13th, 2005, and this was the TNA pay-per-view debut of Christian Cage.
Christian, at last, you're right. One of the best themes. That is so good. I love that theme.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, brilliant. He didn't have that here, obviously.
No.
It's in TNA.
But yeah, so this was like the kind of... I was actually reading into this, so I've not watched this. This was Genesis, and it was from the Impact Zone in Universal Orlando. And it was actually ranked by TNA as the 5th greatest moment in company history.
Oh, Christian's debut.
Mm-hmm. I did not even bother doing my research to see what the other top were.
Angle's debut was number 1. I remember reading that or
yeah?
seeing the YouTube video to be expected.
Surely Joe Styles, Daniels has got to be up there as well.
Yeah, I think that might have been 3. What was 2?
Hulk
It
Hogan.
might have been Team 3D's debut.
No, Hulk Hogan rebranded TNA.
Right. Get
Square
scrapped in the
ring,
Yeah.
get it all together.
He was great in TNA, and
Yeah.
then came back and was for the most part underutilized again. I had a good feud, like the Orton feud. Mixed reviews on it, but I thought it was mostly good. But yeah, no, we just spoken about him on a previous episode.
Well, obviously this was a busy time in Christian's this time of year. And 2005 was a busy time in his calendar. But yeah, so that was the main kind of notable thing. But I was actually reading other matches that happened on this pay-per-view, and I was like, what? Because it actually sounds kind of decent. Like so the one that really stood out for me, because there was a few that got rated like really highly. I think I can't remember whose ratings it was, but it was like an 8 out of 10 or something rating
Jack the
for
Jobber.
this pay-per-view. But like the one that actually was like, whoa, that sounds really decent. It was Alex Shelley, Christopher Daniels, Roderick Strong, and Samoa Joe winning against Austin Aries, Chris Sabin, Matt Bentley, and Sonjay Dutt.
You can just tell from the names.
I was like, what? That would be amazing.
Really good. There's a lot of great names on this.
Yeah.
And then you've got the 3 Live crew, which is a team that I'd forgotten about. BG James, Road Dogg, Conan, who was safe to say out of his prime by that point.
Very much so, yes.
And R-Truth, Ron
It's
Killings.
not stopping him these days, though. He's
But
still going strong.
But they won.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
The team of
Against
BG James, Conan, and Ron Killings.
Against
Thing is,
A1, Bobby Roode, and Eric
R-Truth has
Young.
never lost it. R-Truth has never lost it.
No,
No.
he's like,
amazing.
he must be approaching 50 by now,
Yeah,
if
he's
not
still-
50, and he can still go in the ring. He's still really funny and has managed to reinvent himself. Like heel R-Truth in WWE when he
great.
came out smoking
Amazing.
and being mental. It was so
And then
good.
you had little
R-Truth's
Jimmy.
amazing.
Yeah.
Say
again?
You had little Jimmy.
He had little Jimmy, which was over as hell.
Yeah.
And now he's over again, paired with Carmella, doing his talk show
amazing.
segment. He's really
Yeah.
great.
He was over as well with the whole Goldust thing as well. Like, I love
Oh,
that.
the Gold-
Best
Golden
t-shirt.
Truth.
Best t-shirts ever. Like,
Yes,
legit
the
best
Renaissance
t-shirts.
painting, right?
So
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Honestly, so good. But yeah, this actually seemed like a really decent pay-per-view. Other things that happened, Abyss and Sabu in a hardcore match. And then AJ Styles against P.E. Williams.
That would have been great.
That would have been
Yeah.
amazing. And then, this one that I was like, what? That seems really cool. Rhino and Team 3D defeated America's Most Wanted, which was Chris Harris, James Storm, and with Jeff Jarrett.
Underrated tag team, that. America's
America's
Most
Wanted,
Yeah,
yeah.
people always talk about Rude and Storm together.
Yep.
But
'cause Beer
for
Money
me,
was
Beer
the
Money
one.
were great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
America's Most Wanted were equally as good, in my
Yeah,
opinion. They
totally.
were really brilliant together.
Seems like a super decent pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And I really actually want to watch that amazing match with all those names in it. Sounds amazing. Elimination. Anyway. November the 14th, we'll go to 1999. And this is huge news. This was Angle's in-ring WWE debut.
Is this the dark match Black Trunks debut or?
No, this is the proper pay-per-view
Proper.
debut
Okay.
against none other than Sean Stasiak, which is a weird one. It was a good debut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's Angle, a man who has also evolved tremendously and undertaken so many different roles in wrestling. Goofy Kurt is my favourite.
Yeah.
2001 Kurt Angle is wrestling.
So
That
fun.
is the best.
He's
The
a guy
best.
who's like, he's so good at laughing at himself. He gets comedic timing.
Oh, completely.
Yeah.
But he's so like deadpan about it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just the best. Like, the one, honestly, one of my favourite promos that he did. Like, I struggle to think of so many, but at that time was when he did one with. I actually put it on my Instagram because I was just howling so much watching it. But it was him and Raven. And he's like, Raven's like, challenges him to an ECW rules match. And he's like, yeah, you, me, ECW rules. And Raven walks off, like, being all, and Kurt Angle's like, yeah, that's fine. And he was like, by the way, ECW doesn't rule, WWE rules. Yeah. I was like, you're wetting myself. He's just so, he's so perfect. I love him.
Yeah, he's just great at everything he does. Like, you believe Goofy Kurt Heel as being this lovable loser in the same way that you believe Olympic Badass.
Totally.
And then the intense TNA run that he did.
But you're all just crumbling beneath the fact that Sean Stasiak's now a chiropractor.
Oh, he is, isn't he?
He followed me on Twitter. Dr. Sean
Yeah, he
Stasiak.
followed me, and that's why I was like, what? I like saw it. I was like, huh?
No, because
I thought it was like a new gimmick. It's like, no, he has an actual practice.
because he's a
new
doctor.
gimmick.
No, I did because he's Dr. Sean
Yeah, that's the
Stasiak,
name.
and I was like, no way. And then I thought it was like a parody account,
Yeah.
and I was like, what is this? And I looked at it, and I was like,
Verified and
that's
everything,
actually-
yeah.
I didn't follow him back though, did you?
You didn't follow Sean.
I did. Yeah, I followed him back.
100% you go
Why
and follow him.
not?
I don't know. I feel bad.
He's not going to be a DM slipper. He'll be a nice guy.
No, to be fair though, I think he follows as many people who follow him. I think
Oh, he's one of those ones.
That's why I was
man.
like, I'm holding off.
It's all about the ratio, isn't it?
Anyway,
Who's your weirdest follow before we move on? Because I had the Blue Meanie the other day, and he's been liking a lot of my stuff. He's a really nice guy. I met him out in Orlando when we went.
Did
with
you
What
know
Culture.
that during One Night Stand, JBL actually hit the Blue Meanie? Yeah.
We should make a list about that. You know what? We get all the crap for talking about Montreal because we launched with
Yeah.
Survivor Series, and if you're going to talk about Survivor Series, you're going to have to talk about Montreal.
Yeah.
And so any time that's brought up, no, it's just like, so we've purposely sort of strayed away from the Blue Meanie. I was watching that back as well the other day, and then the match that he had, JBL versus Blue Meanie on SmackDown, with the greatest chair shot ever.
The greatest receipt in wrestling history.
So Stevie Richards comes in and then hits him with a chair. The noise that makes is just like a
Completely
Really?
unprotected,
Yeah.
just wellies him with the top portion of the chair.
Bust him
The
open
hard
straight.
bit,
Oh my god.
JBL's head just crumbles. It just goes straight down. He hits the deck.
Apparently he walked through backstage and there was like a group of 20 people. Like, good lad, Stevie. Best super kick in the business, by the way, better than Sean's. Stevie Richards. I don't know how I've got to Stevie Richards.
know,
What angle was he on this card?
Probably not.
No.
Probably not, no. But yeah, also
Midian was though.
another notable about this pay-per-view was this was the pay-per-view where Austin got run over
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
car. And then
Did they advertise him up to the night as well?
So this was the whole thing why everybody went nuts, like because he was advertised on all the posters, everything on the run up.
Well, he was on the show.
Yeah, this is like I don't understand why people went so nuts about it.
Oh,
Because he was if he was on the poster and they expect him to wrestle. If you're gonna put somebody front and center on a poster, you expect him to wrestle.
To be fair, I'd be like, oh, like I'd be more annoyed if, because I always remember going to a TNA house show in Glasgow, and there being like it was when like Jeff Hardy couldn't get in, and he was on all the posters and stuff for the UK tour. And then I just remember there being posters up saying, like in the toilet saying, sorry, but Jeff Hardy will not be here.
It's why
and
my
all the
dad-
kids were upset, but like at least you saw a wee bit of VT getting
I
run
thought you were
over.
going to say, at least you saw the posters, kids. Get over yourselves, you
merch
little
was
mutts.
there.
That's why my dad wouldn't take me to house shows, because on the first WCW tour with Bret Hart, he decided to pull out after the first 2 dates. And then
Because he was concussed, I assume, because he was ruined.
No, this was before that. I think it was sort of after the signing and stuff.
Right,
And,
okay.
He refused. He just wasn't going to do it, so he flew back. And then Kevin Nash was billed, like there was a big like Outsiders tour or something. Kevin Nash was billed front and center. Came out every single night in a wheelchair and went, "I'm injured." He wasn't injured.
Oh, what?
And it was just bollocks, and that's why I never got to go to house shows as a kid.
Oh.
Really annoyed. Those two people. Bret Hart, what's he ever done for the business? Montreal screw
Apparently,
job.
this might happen again fairly soon. I was reading something the other day.
screw job?
No, let's talk about that more.
Jeez, oh.
that they might be advertising somebody still who's not going to be there, and this is the crown jewel. So by the time this goes out, I guess we'll know what's happening here. Apparently, they're going to write Cena off soon, so he won't be involved in the tournament, which is the World Cup thing.
When it comes crashing down.
No, don't. But apparently, Bryan is going to be advertised up until the day, and then they're going to tape something with AJ, and the match is going to happen, or it's going to have happened elsewhere, and they'll just play it on the monitor or something.
Oh, maybe it's an AJ Styles trampoline backyard match.
But why are they doing that?
Because Bryan and Cena are reportedly refusing to work the show because of the controversy regarding...
I read about the Cena thing, and he's saying one, which I was just like, my boy.
Yeah,
but 100% think, and for someone like Cena to stand up and say, that's huge.
Yeah.
But he's the only guy, really, or one of the only guys in the company that can do that.
Well, Daniel Bryan, apparently.
Yeah, well, it shows how much pull Daniel Bryan has still.
Well, that's it. Like, if they all immediately together went, we're not doing it, fine. But I think anybody that just sort of walked forward that was much lower down the card and said it would be like, all right, and that would be it. Yeah. They'd sort of face some sort of punishment.
There's another match on this that I'd totally forgotten about. The Big Show defeating the Big Boss Man, Prince Albert, Mideon, and Viscera 4-0 in a Survivor Series handicap match in just 87 seconds. Considering that must mean at least 12 of those seconds were taken up by pinfalls. So I guess you can remove 12 of that. 75 seconds of wrestling in that one.
Was that bell to bell?
I know, I was going to say that including entrances. Is that including entrances?
The Big Show did have teammates in the Blue Meanie and Kai and Tai. Speaking of Blue Meanie, he attacked them all during heat, leaving him to face the opposition alone. What a guy.
But how long after his debut was this?
In WW, not long.
Because they were building him as like, it's massive, because he was something big, Paul White. And
it was just the
Big Show Paul White, and then...
Yes.
And then
I think he debuted just as Paul White, didn't he? Yeah, and who did you think it was going to be watching that, attacking Steve Austin, driving over him, hitting him with a car? Because I always thought it was going to be the Big Show.
Yeah, or The Rock.
He's got experience driving.
I thought it'd be like, I actually thought it'd be a McMahon.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Just Vince again.
I thought it was going to be Rikishi from the get-go.
Did you?
I said when I was a little kid, 8 years old, I went, he's going to have done it for The Rock.
There's a guy who's going to work as a heel.
Sent a letter to Stamford, Connecticut, and I went, wouldn't it be great if it turns out Rikishi did it? You've all got me to thank for that.
I actually do thank you. I think it's lovely. I'm all
lovely.
Because
the
he did it for The Rock.
But he didn't. He did it for Trips.
Well, he
did it for Trips.
Yeah, but like that was just a rework of the story.
Yes,
because it didn't
very
work.
much was.
I think if he stick true to your word, it was for The Rock.
Another really good match on this. China and
China.
Chris Jericho for the IC title.
Yeah.
Really, really good.
Totally.
And then one at the bottom again with our big mate.
Oh yeah, the triple threat.
Oh yeah, with Trips and Rock.
For the championship.
Yeah,
so
Big Show
busy
won the
night
belt.
for Big Show, eh? Yeah. What a grafter. Okay, moving on to November the 15th, 1998. Oh, this is wild. This was a forming.
It's a mental Survivor Series, this. From start to finish.
This was notably the forming of the corporation as The Rock turns heel and sides with the McMahons.
So, at the beginning of the night, it was where we all knew that Vince didn't want Rock or Austin to get through to the final stage. And so he did everything in his power to do that. And then the swerve at the end was that The Rock. had been on their side the whole time. And I was recording a list about this that Jack wrote the other day. And apparently if you watch it back, Big Boss Man, comes in to interfere numerous times, making it look like he's trying to mess things up. But actually everything he does was there to help The Rock get to the final stages. And yeah, he was on the side. It's layers. Like an onion. It's the onion of Survivor Series.
It's the Shrek of Survivor Series.
The Shrek of Survivor Series. It's really good. It's worth watching back. It's chaos. The whole event is absolute chaos. Because there are so many matches booked as part of this tournament, as part of the pay-per-view. It's brilliant. I'd really recommend watching it back.
Like, I mean, I just thought it was like ballsy as well, doing the kind of like, obviously the kind of ring the bell. So straight after, I was like, oh, I just loved it. It was great. And yeah.
Corporate Rock was brilliant.
I know. I
remember
that.
hating him.
I know, like legit was like, how could you? But it was so good. I just, that time, so good. Loved it. What other things happened?
Not that much. It was all about that tournament. It really was.
Big old build.
No, yeah. Amazing. Good show. November the 16th, 1996. We're going to Hall of Fame. And this was the last Hall of Fame before 2004, which is pretty cool. And that was when Vince Sr. gets inducted into Hall of Fame.
Jimmy Snuka.
Yeah, sorry, Jimmy Snuka as well. Pat Patterson.
What was I going to say about Jimmy Snuka? Nothing.
No, about Vince, because you went...
Vince, yeah. The list of names here is unbelievable. This is before the Hall of Fame turned into this 4-hour long.
Yeah,
they just sort of held a little thing, didn't they, with select invites?
It was just like a black tie thing, and it
It
wasn't
was
like
in a
fans
hotel
didn't
and
go.
stuff like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it was like a proper, like...
They're really great to watch back, actually. They're really,
I've never
really
watched
different.
like the kind of old ones.
Yeah.
Why did they stop doing them?
Because they
like,
could sell
for so long?
tickets.
They could sell
why did
tickets
they stop
and
doing
make
it for
the
so
last
long?
5
I don't
hours?
know.
I'm interested to know why.
Maybe it was just
Because
something they
it's
didn't have time for, or...
But surely you would think, like, because it was on such a small scale, like, you know, it would just be something like, I mean, 1996, like, there's plenty of time.
Yeah.
It's not like it is now where there's just so much, too much, arguably, going on. Like, why would they stop it? Why wouldn't they even keep it like a small, intimate thing like that?
I'm kind of glad they did, because they're burning through names so unbelievably quickly now.
I think,
So this is probably, in hindsight, quite a good thing that they did. So I don't know why that didn't happen.
Do you think they should maybe like do it once every 3 or 4 years now and have something else to do?
No. I think they should just maybe induct fewer people per year.
Maybe one person a year or 2 people a year.
You've been to a Hall of Fame thing, haven't you? I didn't go to it.
It was agony. It was absolute agony.
See, I love Hall of Fame, and see if I was to go over to Mania, I would go.
Like, thing is, I thought it would be good. Like, I thought it'd be really good, and for about an hour and a half, it was great. But there are so many families there with young children and stuff, which it's not that sort of environment. So having the huge arena atmosphere doesn't quite work with it. There's like the half-empty seats where wrestlers are supposed to be sat and stuff. It's weird.
What? But they're all wandering off.
They're all like wandering around and coming back and doing all sorts of stuff, and then. It just goes on, and it's not timed. It's like if they're going to do an award show, it should be like the Oscars. It should have a set run time, like because Beth Phoenix.
I knew you were going to talk.
Beth Phoenix is the reason I will never watch another Hall of Fame.
Don't
say seriously. No, it was like she went on and on and on and on, and it was like, my husband Edge, play Edge's music. Edge comes out and goes.
Who did it last? Was it Hillbilly Jim last year that went on for
I loved his speech.
And then Edge walks off, right, after about 15 minutes of that, and she goes, so anyway, in about 2005, and it just went on, literally like 90 minutes, and I'm sat there like peeling my skin off, just like, I just want to leave.
I
just want to get to Angle. Come on. Angle
was the best.
I think I like Hall of Fame, and I quite like it when they go off and like have a slightly self-indulgent speech. I think that's nice.
Then we had the Rock and Roll Express.
Yeah, they were. Yeah. Was that long?
Who else was in that class that you got in?
So Cornette inducted the Rock and Roll. Angle was inducted by... Who inducted Angle?
Oh, I don't know. We had to do live reactions for it as well. Pat Patterson as well, who you spent time with.
I shared a packet of Frazzles with Pat Patterson at the Rev Pro show. I loved it.
I assume you can't get Frazzles in the
honestly,
in the
it was the best. I love Pat Patterson like so much. He is the coolest guy in the world. And we were watching that Rev Pro show at MediaCon. And then he was just sitting there and he was having a wee drink and he had his wee pint and I was like, do you know what would be nice with this? Snacks. So I went and got a packet of Frazzles and I put them in a wee plastic cup and I was like, Pat, do you want a cup of Frazzles? And he was like, and I gave him a cup of Frazzles.
And he starts drinking them. Excellent human skill.
I gave him them and he was like, oh,
dipping
what are
them
these?
in his pint.
But he was like such a wee grandpa about it and he was like, what are these? And I was like, oh, it's like Frazzles. And he was like, all right. And then he was like, oh, they're quite nice. And he sat with his wee pint and then he had his wee cup of Frazzles and he was sitting watching Rev Pro and I was like, this is my moment.
I was watching a video that Kenny put on Twitter of Pat doing My Way.
Oh, the karaoke.
He's got a beautiful voice. I had no idea.
Honestly, he's like won competitions on cruises. He likes cruising and he's won competitions and stuff. Like he's amazing. Like honestly, I really just want to hang out with Pat Patterson more. He is such a
You had a big night out with him, right?
Yeah, I didn't go on the night out, sadly, because I was actually trying to be sensible
for
once. So I didn't go on the night out, and I sat down, but he downstairs in the bar for a bit. But he was loving life in Manchester. He was just like, he was really taken aback because the gay district is so big and open and stuff like that. And he was like genuinely, apparently, really humbled by it. He was like,
By the
this
fact
is
he was
amazing.
so accepting of it. Oh, that's
Totally,
fantastic.
and he was like walking about, and he was like, "This is just so nice." He was
Yeah.
like, "I can't believe there's somewhere like this."
Oh, that's lovely.
And he was really touched by it, and then he was like, "Karaoke, let's do it."
I've got a story about our night out the other day that you don't know about.
Oh, I know about this
No.
one.
This reflects very poorly on me, not poorly on you. Nothing to worry about here, Jen. You
For
can...
anyone who doesn't know, me and Adam had a pure mad one like out in Glasgow a couple
I,
months ago.
I couldn't get
He
my
was
train, guys.
ill.
I'm just going to need to come back. I'll just take the rest of the day off.
I took off his holiday. That's allowed.
Like, but you were bad. I made it to. Can I just say, I made it to my actual work. I woke up on the sofa fully clothed.
10
at
past 5, that tweet went out from your account.
Was it?
Yeah,
Was it?
it was late. So we went out after Kenny's announcement that The Undertaker is coming to the UK. And I hadn't planned on staying out and got very, very drunk. We ended up in a casino, just myself and Jennifer, until about 4:30 in the
spent a
morning.
fortune
Yeah,
as
playing
well.
roulette.
On a pound table, and I spent about 100 quid.
Did you?
No, 75.
Jesus Christ. So we did that, and there was one point that I went to the bathroom, I had a piss, and then when I was washing my hands, I got some on my crotch, and I was like, oh my God, that looks like I've pissed myself. And you don't know about this, because I disguised this so well. My idea to disguise what looked like piss on my trousers was to completely soak my trousers. So I was instead of going to the hand dryer and just sort of hovering about like Mr. Bean, I got cupfuls of I say cupfuls, handfuls, and just all down my legs and the back of them to try and even out the colour to make it look like I was just wearing wet look lycra trousers. And it worked because you didn't notice. I was soaked. I was coming back in squelching. In my drunken mind, that was like a genius idea. And then I sat down and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
How did I not notice?
I was very...
And why were you...
I was pulled right up to the table underneath like that.
To be fair, I legit thought you, like... I thought you were quite alright as well.
It's really difficult to tell when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
But I was like...
It's
10
very
pints
easy,
down.
actually. You get very mischievous.
I do get mischievous.
Yeah.
I do. I bother, but I was very well behaved that
very
night.
well behaved.
Then at a pop world where you found a cone and you kept going up to people and going, all right, handing them the cone. And then put it down, so you kept picking it up and just walking around with it. And then just giving it. And then at one
Putting
point,
it in the middle
this
of the
guy
dance
got really
floor.
annoyed and he kept telling you to go away. So you just, as he was leaving, you just picked it up and just sort of chest passed it toward him.
I don't remember this. Everybody likes a cone. You can't blame me for giving presents to people.
I was going to say, you sound a lot like
Yeah, I'm a lovely
more,
bloke when
I am
drunk.
like so up for more
Or when you're out with Jack,
than
like, you hear this song. He wrote this song.
They believed every word. I've stopped drinking now.
Until...
Yeah. Tonight.
It was like Save Tonight, wasn't it? It was like,
Eagle Eye
he wrote
Cherry,
this
yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even think he was. He might
How
have
old are
4.
you? He's 42.
Anyway.
So anyway, here's a thing. Adam Pacitti on a night out is good. November the 17th, we will go to... Oh man, this is massive. 1996, and this is Rocky Maivia makes his WWF in-ring debut.
Huge.
Well,
Huge.
not at
Is
the
this-
time,
Yeah.
wasn't as huge.
Is this before? This will be after Flex Cavana, right?
Yes, yeah, this
Yeah.
is his WWE
Yeah.
debut as Rocky Maivia.
Rocky Maivia.
And
At the time when I thought it was huge, and
not
it
even
actually
slightly
turns
thought
in to be the biggest, if one of the biggest
Yeah.
debuts in wrestling
Yeah.
history.
I remember watching it at the time, just thinking, "There's another guy. He's got a crap gimmick. He's pretty handsome and that." I wasn't thinking that. I was really, but I was like, he's got a good look and everything. You could tell there was
Yeah,
something
yeah,
about him, but he was never given like considerable mic time. He was never
Yeah.
allowed to show off his charisma, and he was saddled with this
No.
very poor gimmick.
Even like watching it back now, because I did not watch this as a kid, and to be honest, like when I did go back and watch more stuff, like because I definitely would have watched this when I was, you know, still in the 90s anyway. I would have watched this and absolutely no woofed. Like
Yeah, but
wouldn't have
that's the
known.
thing is you don't know who's going to be the next star.
But I,
Austin
but
used to
I
say the
think
same thing.
obviously
Yeah.
I knew The Rock maybe round about this time, and I think watching that it didn't even like twig with me
No.
that that's The Rock. Like it's bizarre. But yeah, this would be his in-ring debut.
In a traditional Survivor Series match.
Yep.
So he teamed with Mark Merrow, Jake
Mm-hmm.
Roberts, and the Stalker, defeating Crush Lawler, Triple H or Hunter S. Helmsley, and Goldust. Yeah, it's a weird thing. Like, he would have never. Oh, I don't want to say he would have never got popular had it not been for like Nation of Domination, but like. People were getting so fed up with him. Those Die Rocky Die chants and the heel turn. One of the great.
He was like a blue chipper, babyface, white meat.
People
Roman
were
Reigns.
past it, weren't they? People didn't want to see that anymore. But yeah, he evolved into The Rock, who's done everything ever.
Exactly.
And is going to be president.
I 100% believe. I saw his fake arm. Oh, I wish I had my phone.
His fake arm?
Yeah, right. So, see, at time of filming, they're filming the new Fast and Furious up in Glasgow just now. And it's like right by my work. And I have spent the last 3 days, I was working on my lunch break up at this thing to
trying to see The Rock?
Trying to see The Rock, because there was a rumour that The Rock and Jason Statham would be there. So we went up, and it's like quite easy to get into, like where they're filming. It's obviously all cornered off, but you can see the cars and stuff like that. And I was like, right, I positioned myself in a good place to like wave at him and be like, Dwayne, like, let's be pals. But all I saw was, he actually never was in Glasgow, but all I saw was they built a mechanical arm of him, like a replica arm.
With the tattoos?
Yeah, with tattoos. And it's like in a grey t-shirt that's like, looks like it's on him, but it's hanging out the fancy car. And they've changed it. And there's like a bit where there's like a mobile phone or something like sticking out the hand. So they must do a scene where he like spins the car around and grabs like a phone or something.
Spoilers. That's an integral plot point
but
there.
honestly, like, it's mental.
So you've seen The Rock's fake arm?
I've seen The Rock's fake arm, and I've got a picture of it. And it's
I need to
great.
see this.
Honestly, it looks just like his arm. Anyway.
It looks just like his arm.
It does. Like, see if I was like just only could see that much, I'd have been like, there's The Rock. And I saw his cousin, who's a stunt double.
Yeah.
Who looks really like him.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. So.
There you go.
There you go. Who knew? Who knew I would be following Rocky Maivia by the time, wasting 3 hours of my life. November 17th still, and we'll go to a year later, 1997. And this was Rick Rude appearing on Nitro and Raw on the same day.
It's perfect.
This is continuity at its finest.
I wish this stuff could still
biggest
happen.
middle finger.
It was brilliant.
So good.
It was so obviously Raw was pre-taped, Nitro was live, so they aired something with Rick Rude at the same time as Rick Rude debuted on WCW, joining the New World Order.
So he appeared on WCW first, yeah, and then it was like later on in Raw that he was there.
He was shaved clean on Nitro an hour earlier. Mustache.
Yep.
And on Raw, an hour later, full beard. Yeah.
So fantastic.
It's just mental.
There's an interesting tidbit at the bottom here. Rude also appeared on ECW Hardcore TV, pre-taped, making him the only wrestler to appear on all 3 promotions' TV programs in 1 week. That'll never be done again.
That's so
it's
cool.
Amazing.
I think that is a brilliant pub quiz question.
Do you know, though?
For a wrestling pub quiz.
A bit hard for him.
Do you know why he appeared on Nitro, Raw, and ECW?
Go on.
No.
This little thing called the Montreal Screwdriver.
Stop it. Stop it.
I don't know if anybody's heard of it.
He was upset about it still. So he
upset about what?
The what did you say it was called? We're not allowed to refer to it.
The incident in Montreal.
The incident in Montreal.
What was that? Tell the viewers.
Sounds kind of cool. That it was. No, I'm not going to do that.
Bret
definitely
Hart
not
ate 15 steaks,
for
right?
Sake.
And then he threw up. And then they were like, "You can't be champion if you threw up after 15 steaks," and that was it.
Can you eat 15 steaks? That's like a full cow.
No, it's not.
So Rick Rude. There's another guy who should have been WWE champ.
God, yeah.
One of my favourite IC title. He was brilliant, and had he not been injured, it was a real shame because he could do everything. He absolutely could do everything. He had amazing look, really solid in the ring, great promo,
incredible at painting his tights.
Hell of a spray paint. He was brilliant, and sad. Very sad.
He filled the enforcer role really well though when he started, doing that suit and the menacing look and
Yeah, he could do everything. He could.
Yep.
November 17th still, 2000. Oh, this was a great day, and I've actually taken to the point of writing a great day on my notes because it was a great day. This was the N64 release of No Mercy.
Not as good as SmackDown 2 Know Your Role.
No, it's not.
Oh, are you with me on this?
Yes.
I was trying to bother you there.
I wasn't an N64 kid, so I missed the boat a little bit. So,
I'm Nintendo till
but
I die.
I played a lot of No Mercy at my mates' houses, and I just didn't like the sort of slow-paced, like the weird. Like I preferred SmackDown because it was just like fast and arcadey and wrestling. You could pick it up and just go, and that's what I liked out of it. I get that No Mercy is like beloved to the point where it's still being modded today.
Yeah.
Like, there's still, and
I've
I get that
legit
it's an
still got a guy
important
looking
like
out for it, but there's
milestone.
no one for me.
But it's just
I've
like
got a copy of No Mercy you can have.
I can have.
Yeah, of course you
50
can,
quid.
yeah.
I'm like, is it in the shit?
No, I've got an N64 that I haven't turned on. I bought it maybe 10 years ago, and I haven't turned it on in 5 years. You can have my copy of No Mercy.
Can I have you in 64?
Yeah, sure.
Sweet.
There we go. It's a huge giveaway here on This Week in
What do
Wrestling.
you want?
No, I'm totally with you on SmackDown 2,
Yeah.
Know Your Role. Because, like, it is so quick. And I remember getting to Tom Brown's house, who used to be my best friend. He didn't do anything awful. He's not my friend
whoa,
anymore.
what happened?
And just trying to I couldn't get to grips with the controls. That's my fault. But it felt really clunky. And then you've got SmackDown 2, where you've got Hell in a Cell
Pick up and
matches,
play.
and you can literally just run and dive through
What
the
was
side of
that
the cell.
on? What was that on?
PlayStation. PS1.
What was the one that was on? Like, what was? I'm trying to think what one the first one I played because it wasn't No
Do you have
Mercy.
was it Nintendo?
I had Nintendo.
You might have had Raw or Royal Rumble for the SNES.
Or Warzone if you had a PS1, or was Warzone on the SNES?
I'm trying to remember.
WrestleMania 2000 for the N64.
Ooh, when did that come out?
Oh,
2000.
Attitude, I think. Came
Attitude
out.
was
When
first,
did that come
wasn't
out?
it?
Something round about 90.
Attitude 98, probably.
Right, okay,
Was
so-
it 98 sound
It had
about
the,
right?
it had the
That
red
was-
cover.
If this
with
was
the
2000.
Yep,
flip.
that's
Yeah.
the one. That is the one. That was the first one I ever played because that was the one that I was so buzzing that Goldust was like the first character that
Yeah.
you could unlock,
I
and then
had
you
a-
unlocked like all the other outfits like of it, and I was like,
Oh, yeah, they had
Yeah.
Gimp Gold Dust
Yeah,
in that, didn't they?
was
The
on,
green
it was
with
on
the...
Warzone
Yep,
as well.
yep.
Like, so basically, the thing with Warzone that I loved the most was when I got it. It was the first wrestling game I ever played, and it was released like a week after the Montreal Screwjob. Brett's still in the game.
Oh, really?
I love it. But yeah, no, I love No Mercy. It's my favourite wrestling game. It's probably the last one I played, to be honest.
Matthew does these weekly streams at the moment in here on Twitch, and he's been playing SmackDown Here Comes the Pain. Great game.
Oh, so
and he's
good.
so fed up with the story mode, and he's just like, let me play No Mercy. Let me play No Mercy. Is the story mode good on No Mercy?
Yeah, as far as I remember, it was unreal. Like, it was just, I just remember it just being such a fun game. Like, to be honest, I'm the worst when it comes to like game chat because literally my goal in that whole game was to unlock the different outfits. That was it. I'd be like, there's new nuggets. And then when they did the whole like, so you played Foley or you
Yeah.
played, and then you all of a sudden did Love, and I was like, and that was how I realised it was the same person.
Oh, are you taking the piss? Are you having a laugh?
Oh,
You're...
they
They aired promos
like I may not
heavily
be able
into-
to wrestle you, but
I
I've
just
got a
thought they
friend
were
that can. Like
When he came out 3 times in the Royal Rumble,
Yeah.
3 different
Even-
blokes,
Legit. Well, wait a minute. Would I have known by then? When was that?
Probably
what Rumble
not.
was that? What Rumble was that?
1986.
it was...
Anyway, but no, I legit remember my mind being blown with the Dude Love thing.
Did you play? That's what I was just about to
I knew
ask you.
Cactus Jack and Mankind were the same. Just never Pig.
Just the other bloke who looks identical that threw you.
I don't know why.
It's that little headband, isn't it? Threw me too.
It was all the
Blue
tie-dye. I was
t-shirt.
like, there's too much going on here.
Did you ever play the story mode, like the sort of RPG style, not RPG, but like story-driven GameCube releases by WWE? Like
No,
Dave
Dave
Reckoning.
Reckoning, I know, was a...
I never played them, and I don't know anything about them, but I knew they were really story-centric.
I had a friend, Jim Edemanager. Why do I always name the people?
No, but that's
shout
nice.
out
Give
to
them
Jim.
with
Find them on
Yeah, yeah.
Facebook.
What's his surname? What's his
Message him,
surname?
tell him I don't
Edemanager.
particularly
I'm not sure
remember
whether... I
saying
think
that.
it might be
That's
Jen. It's a
beautiful.
lovely surname, isn't it?
What
And
gorgeous
he-
surname.
I think they're still into wrestling, actually, because I bumped into his brother at Christmas last year. Anyway,
And he was still singing "Thorn in My Eye" by Slam Jam, feat WWF superstars.
and he had a Dreamcast that had Royal Rumble on it. And I remember thinking, the graphics were amazing, the gameplay was naff as hell.
I cannot wait to get a Dreamcast finally when I can afford one. I can't wait.
Really?
I never
don't think
owned
I
one.
ever played one.
I've never had one either. I just remember liking the memory cards that also acted as Tamagotchis.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Tamagotchis are coming back.
Are they?
BTW.
Are they?
Yep.
They released one a few years ago that was like Wi-Fi
apparently-
enabled that you could do stuff
Apparently,
with.
yeah, they're coming back, and there's like apps on your phone and stuff you can get to like if you're away from your Tamagotchi to feed it. So now it must.
Will they die now?
Well, probably.
I
not.
know they died originally, but
Yeah.
They'll probably just have a nap now.
I used to sell them in the playground.
What?
When I was,
You are a proper
wait,
devil.
I'm not.
You
Because I
are
didn't
a
sell
devil.
them for any profit. I didn't want to rip anyone
you're
off,
like
and
Robin
I just
Hood.
wanted to
Did
be
you get them
liked. And I
healthy?
found the shop where you could buy them for like £1.99. These fake Tamagotchis, and I used to. What a guy! No mercy for
are-
N64.
What were you saying about Dreamcast and Royal Rumble?
My point is, it's just another console that I didn't have.
Yeah.
And I would like to go back and check those out. I think you can play those on like PC now. Can't
Well,
you?
they're
You
still
can emulate
making
that stuff.
some Dreamcast games. There's
No.
still people out there making Dreamcast games.
Really?
Yeah. You can go pick them up in like several specialist game stores.
That's pretty cool. I see stuff like crowdfunded all the time, like Super Nintendo games that are still, and they can
Yeah.
flash them to the cartridges
Well,
and
like
everything. It's
Sega
amazing.
gave away, there was some weird like RPG that was like they were properly trying to go for the Sega like Mega Drive style with the multiple players following the player and stuff, and they basically appealed to Sega and just begged and begged and begged, and Sega basically went, "We've got a load of old Genesis cartridges, have them," and so they have like officially licensed Sega
That's
cartridges, and it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Sega. So, November the 18th, 2001. Oh, the invasion ends.
Good pay-per-view, this.
This
Yeah.
was
The main
Survivor
event.
this was one of the
Yeah.
highlights of my childhood wrestling that was scuppered, but I'll talk about that
Okay.
in a bit.
Let's run down a bit of the card, I guess.
Yeah. So, basically, what happened? There was loads that happened.
Just so
on
much. I mean, this is
Yeah.
all about. People always just talk about the main event, but there
To
were
be
some
fair,
really,
like,
really good
actually,
matches on
I
here.
only really think about the main event when I do think about this, but there was actually loads that went on. So the WCW Tag Team Champions, the Dudleys, defeated the WWF Champions, the Hardy Boys, which would unify the titles, which was exciting. What else? They remained unified until 2010.
Yeah.
There's a wee fact. Also,
Edge defeated Test
Yep.
to unify the WWF Intercontinental and United States Championship. WCW one.
Oh yeah, Trish came back after injury and would defeat Lita, Jacqueline, Mighty Molly, Jazz, and Ivory.
And then
Awesome.
Vince finally beat Ted Turner after so long. And then he beat him again at WrestleMania when Triple H defeated Sting. But this was the first time he ever defeated Ted Turner. But so much drama in this match. It goes on for like an hour. It's a brilliant match. So unpredictable. So much happening. You've got
adored this
Jericho
match as a kid.
taking his ball and walking home, and it's just brilliant from
thing-
start to finish. And they really get you. WWF definitely presented as the babyface team here. You're all behind the WWF, and it really thought at the end, it's like, oh god, it's going to be WCW. We're losing our precious.
Yeah, no,
WWF.
you thought that would happen, but I remember watching this entire event as a kid, really excited. I was 10 years old, and I'm like, peak of just sort of finding out wrestling is completely staged and
Yeah.
it's all predetermined and everything. But I still sort of believed, and I was like watching, really, really into this match,
Yeah.
really looking forward to the main event. I've been following the whole angle because I was a WCW kid, so I was like really religiously following
Yeah.
this whole thing. And then it gets all the way through the show, and I'm like more and more excited as it's going on. All these little vignettes all night, building and building and building. And the separate locker room cameras, stuff like
Yeah.
that. And then,
yeah.
before the main event, there is an advert that rolls. I don't know if it's still on the network copy, but it was on my VHS copy at home. It was taped off of Sky. And the advert before the main event goes, WWF coming to a town near you next week. And it's like all of the live events for the next 3 months. And I was like,
Oh no!
they're
That's
going
not
to
a
win.
spoiler.
They're going to win. They're going to win.
No, they were cards subject to change, Sam. They would have fired everyone on those cards.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be the
WCW won.
WWF.
They would have just rebranded it. Card subject,
Yeah.
promotion subject to change as well. No,
So
you-
were you like totally heartbroken then?
No, not really. I was just sort of like, oh, that's fucking...
Because see, as much as
sucks.
everyone moans about the invasion angle, I loved it.
I loved it as a kid.
I
But looking
did
back
as
at
a
it now,
kid. As a kid.
yeah,
back
no,
at it now,
same.
I'm just
Right.
like,
Missed opportunity.
yeah.
Sure.
And I
Just
still-
looking at Team WCW here. Austin,
It's so
Angle,
insulting.
Booker T, who
Yeah.
is RVD, and Shane.
insulting.
What a great representation of WCW.
But yeah.
A fun show.
Yeah, and it did, obviously. That was the culmination of the invasion angle. And ECW would go with it, but then ECW would come
It would
back.
come back and then it would die a horrible slow death on sci-fi.
No, the New Talent Initiative.
To be fair, yeah, it brought
did
us
give
it brought
way to
us a
some
good
Sheamus,
goal.
Yeah.
Kofi,
Yeah.
CM
others,
Punk.
The Zombie.
Yoshitatsu, I believe.
Yoshitatsu, he's still the pinnacle of his career for me. He's doing really well in All Japan at the minute, but the pinnacle of his career for me is still the Wrestle Kingdom commentary where it's like
bad.
Matt Stryker going, so I understand you don't like the Bullet Club, Yoshi, is that correct? Yeah. And why is it that, well, they're bad. And it's just like,
feel like I need to watch.
Really just...
Did they ever use him again on commentary?
No, never again.
Oh, okay.
He was
Bad.
like, just, that was it. 4 hours of that. It's amazing. I think Matthew did like a collected special.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Oh, I've not seen that.
But we'll move on. Sadly, we do have deaths.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and this is a huge one, and it's actually gutting just reading it, man, because it's a horrible reminder. Eddie Guerrero would pass away on November the 13th, 2005. And he was 38. I mean, where do you even start? Like, he was...
The complete package.
He was everything. He was like one of the greatest of all time.
Your favourite wrestler's favourite wrestler,
yeah,
probably.
Which is probably true.
He was, just brilliant. Everything he did and every promotion he was in.
He just
was
took the ball and ran with it.
Brilliant.
Anything he was given.
He made everyone look good, himself look good. He was amazing.
The one thing I wish I could have experienced was when he left the company for a short period of time and he went to Ring of Honor to do a couple of spot shows.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, we were talking about this because he did a couple of amazing...
a mini indie run and it only lasted 6 or so months before he went back, I think, or like a year before he went back. But it was
he
like...
had some absolute mental matches,
like
their dream matches.
Yeah, I think he might have done, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm sure it was it wasn't a singles match. I'm sure we were talking about this not that long ago, and it was like Guerrero, Punk, and it wouldn't be Daniel Bryan, but I can't remember who else it was, and I was just like, that's a dream match. Like pure thrown together, like you would never.
Eddie in his prime as well, like absolute peak.
Wild. So absolute.
I always think of Eddie now, because I wasn't watching when he beat Brock and became champion. For me, it was always about WCW, the best matches on the show every time, without a doubt, and more so Eddie and Mamacita. That's
totally.
I remember an angle which I haven't watched back since it happened, but being so shocked as a kid because Eddie hit somebody with the roses and there was a lead pipe inside of it, and when I was growing up I thought, that's amazing. But tremendous.
Unreal.
I think it's some of China's best work.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. I think they totally bounced off each other, and he was just amazing, absolutely amazing. So really sad to lose him. He was 38. Also on November the 14th we lost Nick Bockwinkel, who was NWA Hall of Famer, WWE Hall of Famer. He was 80 years old.
At least it's a good age. It's always a sort of...
It's almost a wee bit of a relief, you know what I mean? Like, you've had a good life and stuff like that. And he's obviously one of the greatest and remembered, rightly so, for being. So it's a shame. But we've got birthdays.
Kicking off with one of the best wrestlers in history.
This is true. And who we got whoever was doing this
fever,
gave him a year younger.
Disco
older.
Fever. Oh, really? That's my
he's
bad.
Older. He's actually older. He's going to be 51 on November the 12th. It's Disco Inferno.
Great guy.
Horrible man on Twitter.
Is he?
Is he?
Yeah.
How is he?
Why?
I'm sure he's been saying some really near the knuckle things on Twitter recently.
Oh, right. Okay, I've not seen
What
this.
is he because last I saw that he was a road agent for TNA, but what's he doing now?
I don't know.
He does a podcast still.
Yeah, he does.
I know he does a podcast. That's all I really know. Fond memories of him growing up.
Oh God, yeah, I remember
I
he was
wasn't
always
really
such a comedy thing
familiar.
for me. Like
him and Smiley.
Yeah. Oh
big
God,
fans.
yeah, no one's
big fans,
Smiley.
yeah.
Anyway, so that was November the 12th, and happy 51st birthday, Disco Inferno. November the 13th, happy 42nd birthday to Tanahashi. 42!
Yes.
Whoa.
Hiroshi Tanahashi has had a hell of a career and a hell of a life. He only really got famous in Japan after he was going out with this news reporter who worked for a major Japanese station, and he was like, I think I'm going to break up with her. Things weren't going too well for him. He was sort of a young wrestler at the time, and when he said, look, it's not working out, I'd like to break up, she stabbed him 4 times, and he ended up in hospital for ages, and he became this comeback story, and that was what propelled him to being...
She stabbed him?
Yeah.
With a knife?
A big old kitchen knife.
I never knew that.
I think Nelly killed him, really severely stabbed him, and then he came back and was whoop.
Did you go to prison?
I think so, yeah.
You'd hope so, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I can't believe he's that
She was
age.
on the news. Whoa.
Yeah, she was like a major news anchor. It'd be like Eamon Holmes going nuts over here.
Oh, pretty man. He would never do that. That's nuts. Oh wow. Wow, that's a really cool story, actually. Like,
Yeah,
not
it's really cool.
No,
It's awesome, man.
not cool, but like I just had no idea. And also, like, yay for his comeback.
I'm going to stab people if they ever threaten to leave the
No,
room.
please don't. Do not condone stabbing. Do not condone
God,
it.
no.
Oh my goodness. Happy birthday anyway. I'm so glad you survived.
You're my
November.
ace. You're the ace of my heart. Air guitar. That's him.
Okay. November the 13th. Happy 38th birthday to Sarah Del Rey.
Nice.
Yep. She's the assistant head coach in NXT now.
Mm-hmm.
Living the dream. Also on November the 13th, happy 34th birthday to Sunil Singh.
We had his...
Brother was the other day.
Lovely.
Or the other week. So that's nice. Oh, nice. Oh, I hope they didn't have joint birthday parties though, because that would be annoying.
They might have done. It's pretty
Oh,
close together, isn't
I know,
it?
it's kind of annoying. Anyway, happy birthday. November the 14th, happy 46th birthday to Matt Bloom.
One of the most criminally underrated wrestlers of my childhood. I loved Albert.
I
love
loved him
Test Stand
because
Albert.
he was all piercings and I thought he was mental.
I thought
he
he- hair.
I
What
thought
you
he
got?
looked threatening.
Piercings.
I thought he
Hair?
looked super threatening.
Piercings.
You couldn't see them.
I could.
It's like
His
a walking
face.
cloud.
Like
What?
the
And his
triple.
face.
Yeah, no, yeah.
He was like huge, and then also he did all the stuff with Trish. So I was like,
I never
yeah,
knew
okay.
Prince Albert. When growing up, it's one of those things. Didn't know
Yeah.
what it meant.
Me
Really?
neither. Me
Yeah.
neither. And I
Yeah.
remember only hearing it like very late on in life because my friend's a piercer.
Which was the best incarnation though? Was it Albert? Was it the A Train? Was
I
it
didn't think it was
the
Albert.
Funkasaurus add-on?
The
Was it-
Funkasaurus had no. You can't call Lord Tensai a
Was it
Funkasaurus.
Lord, no, because he
add-on.
was Lord Tensai, and then he was Funkasaurus Lord
Tensai,
Tensai.
yeah.
And then
Prince Albert for me.
He
I
was
think
Giant
what he's doing
Bernard
now
over
is
in
probably
Japan.
he was
He
big,
did
he was a
really
big
well over
deal.
there,
That's
yeah.
why I was saying like criminally underrated or underutilized, whatever you said.
But
I'm not
obviously-
sure because he did do amazing things in Japan.
But obviously
I mean,
not.
I meant in like WWE.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
But not underrated in WWE's eyes because he is head trainer. in
Yeah.
NXT.
Yeah, definitely.
And that is
One of the
sorry,
most
that
trusted
is-
roles.
Yeah.
Just to say,
Especially
if you
after Build 'em
don't,
Up.
Yeah.
if you don't understand what I was talking about with the Prince Albert
Oh
thing,
my
and you wanna
goodness,
see,
Adam, no.
just head to Google Images and turn Safe Search off, and then
Pew, pew,
search
pew.
Prince
Adam.
Albert, and it'll show you a picture of what a Prince Albert is. It's a monarchy thing
I'm
here in
pretty
the
sure
UK.
if you go to Wikipedia, it might show you a safe image,
Okay, yeah,
like an illustration.
You can do that too.
or just get on that like NSFW filter Google.
It's the man's birthday. Do you know what? Go and Google Matt Bloom with party hat or something and then look at
His
nice
knob
pictures.
goes beep in airports.
Oh my god.
Next,
Next, we're moving on. November 14th, happy 32nd birthday to Kalisto.
Lucha things.
Also November 14th, happy would have been 88 to
Give
Big
us an easy.
Daddy.
Go on.
not Big not Big Daddy V, the original
Big
Big
Daddy
Daddy.
Cool.
Yeah, Big Daddy.
A man who wasn't a tremendous wrestler, but the most over guy in
The most
British wrestling
charismatic.
ever.
Shirley
Yeah.
Crabtree.
Charismatic.
Shirley, the hardest man called Shirley ever.
Yeah.
Do you know his original singlet
I was about
thing
to
he used
say
to wear
this,
was
yeah.
made out of a sofa.
His wife's sofa,
You
The sofa
are
cushion, the
joking.
covering, not the
No,
not
clearly,
the
I
frame
know.
and stuff.
yeah. It was the back of the sofa.
Yeah.
Just cut the back out. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I watched Daddy versus Haystacks the other day. It's two fat blokes running into each other.
But it's British
People were
wrestling.
so into
You've
it.
never
His
seen
mum
it?
was present for that as a child.
way.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah. One of my best friends, his
Yeah.
mum was present for that as a
That
child.
is, like,
and she
actually
was
the
like,
live show,
she was
isn't
like, I
it?
loved it. It was great. And I'm sat there when she's talking about it. I'm like, it was terrible.
So,
Well, the thing is, like, my grandpa, like, he was, like, mad into wrestling, like, World of Sport and all that, and, like, he would have watched that, and he was apparently a huge Big Daddy fan.
Yeah.
Like, he just thought he was the best thing, like, with his wee hat and cape, and he was, like,
Yeah.
he was the best.
there was a
Amazing.
table spot in the match that I watched. They fought a few times,
Hmm.
but Haystacks goes over the top rope and sort of goes through a table and then gets counted out. And there was all of this huge hype surrounding it. The match lasted maybe 4 minutes because they
There's
couldn't
one
wrestle.
thing-
You know what? Actually, Haystacks wasn't a bad wrestler.
No, 'cause he
at all.
made it to
His
WCW and-
he did. His career was cut really short
The
again.
thing
but
is, I want to clarify something that Bruce Pritchard brought up on his podcast about Big Daddy, because he sort of said it in a bit of a tongue-in-cheek way, but then didn't clarify it. He made it seem like Big Daddy is our Hulk Hogan to the point that basically people would come to wrestling events in the UK when he was working for TNA, and would ask if Big Daddy would be on the card. Everybody knows Big Daddy's dead. Everybody knows that Big Daddy was arrested a long time ago.
Yeah.
He's not somebody that we're like,
He was our Hulk Hogan.
He
That's
was.
fair
I
to
was going to
say.
say
No,
that.
but
I was about to say
he
I
was
agree
going on as
completely.
if he was like, AJ Styles level currently. Like, people were
No,
still
he was-
obsessed
No,
with
but
him.
he-
Oh, right, okay.
Like,
I know,
people
but
were
people
obsessed with him
loved
now
him.
and wanted to see him wrestle
I
now.
bet
That's
one
what he meant.
sarky
Oh,
bastard
right.
came up
Yeah.
to him and went, "Oh, is Big Daddy wrestling tonight?"
Yeah.
And then he took that as like,
Yeah.
Anyway.
Rest in peace.
Exactly. November 15th, sadly again no longer with us, would have been 66. Happy birthday to Macho Man Randy Savage.
It's another one that where do
Yeah.
you start? Can you give us your best? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm not
No,
even
she
gonna
can't.
try.
really
Oh,
need to-
come on. I could do the
I
neck
needed
thing. I
to,
think I've
like,
done.
cough.
But you know,
Yeah.
he was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
"Ooh yeah." Was that all right? It sounded all right in my
That
head.
was perfect.
Mine with
I think
the
out of the
really-
two, you win. There you go.
No, come on.
I
Come on.
can't. My
Do it.
throat is
Do it
bad.
in Stevie
No, it's-
Aaron's voice then.
Oh, yeah!
There we go. Amazing.
Love it,
Just
yeah.
the best. Everywhere he went, brilliant.
Yep, amazing. And also on the 15th, and this made me sad because she's so young, but happy 24th birthday to Nixon Newell, or Tegan Knox, as we now
Knox.
know her.
Currently out injured, of course. That's
Sadly,
man. Classic.
Yeah.
Which was like a
Horrible
brutal.
injury.
I actually didn't realise she
Man,
had
you
both
watch it-
knees worked
Yeah,
on.
it was
like,
so bad.
It was watching that. It was one of the most sort of like,
Uncomfortable.
yeah, it was
Yeah.
really just the silence.
Yeah.
And then you've got the crowd
long
going.
shots of the crowd just looking.
but it's
shocked
just
and-
as well the fact that she's just
tears.
come back, man. Like
Yeah.
it's
And
such
it was a
insane-
good leg as well. Like that went. And,
I know, and like she's absolutely knackered it,
Yeah.
but she'll be
She'll
on
be
the
back.
mend.
The
be
fact
back
that they're
stronger.
still promoting her on social
Oh,
media
yeah.
and they're filming stuff backstage, when she comes back, she's going to be
It's
going to
be huge.
bigger deal.
Yeah.
Exactly, and do you know what? She's such a lovely girl, so I can't wait for that.
I crowned her the first ever WCPW Women's Champion.
So you did.
bleep that out.
No.
But that concludes our birthdays and this week in wrestling. So thank you very much for joining me, gents, and we'll see you next week.
See you soon.
Bye.
So that has been This Week in Wrestling. If you want to follow me on Twitter, you can do so here. If you like what we do here at Cultaholic, then please join our Patreon at patreon.com/Cultaholic. And most importantly, don't forget to subscribe and join us.